Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a really fun video. It is going to be shit that happens while studying abroad. So, a lot of crazy stuff does happen. I'm sure a lot of like bad things happen too, but not to me. Nothing bad really happened to me. It was all quite an experience. I did film a study abroad experience video. I will have that link down below because I'm sure that is going to go up before this one does. And I did say that I was going to make a whole video on it, so that is what I'm doing today. Like I said, nothing really bad happened, but it's just like some crazy stuff that I was like, why did this happen to me? Like, why? And also, none of this happened in Heidelberg, Germany, which is where I studied abroad. Everything that happened was on the weekend trips, so it was not in Germany. Everything that I have seen from Germany, everything is very calm and peaceful in Germany, so none of this stuff happened in Germany. So let's just get right into the video so that it's not a long one, because if you watched my study abroad experience, then you saw how much I can ramble on, especially when it's about traveling and when it's about my summer, because once I start talking about my summer, I cannot shut up. So let's just get right into it. If you guys saw my vlogs throughout the summer, then you would have heard of some of these stories, but if not, I'm gonna talk about it today, and I will also have all my vlogs linked down below for you guys to watch if you want to. My first one is, it happened my first weekend, or technically my second weekend, but it was the first like weekend trip. We went to Rome, and our Airbnb was about like 10 to 15 minutes from the place we were going to. We were going to the Vatican, so it was a little farther off from the Vatican. So we go on the metro, we buy our ticket. That was the hardest like metro station to be in. Like to actually purchase the ticket, it was really difficult. But once we got our metro ticket, we just like hopped on the train and like left. About like 2 or 3 stops into it, a man comes in, and me and Kassandra, it was me and the other Kassandra, we were like standing in the middle because all the seats were taken, so we had like our hands on the pole. So it was like there was like 3 poles, so 1 pole and then 1 down the middle. I was on the middle one and Kassandra was on the other one, and then this man comes and goes onto the other one, and I was just like minding my own business. We weren't really talking because we were just like waiting for us to get to our destination, and he like puts his hand on my pole, like where my hand is, even though he had already had his hands on his, but he puts his hand on my pole, and he gets his finger, and I'm gonna try and like do it. He like starts like going like that to my boob, and mind you, I am a very open person. I will tell you off. I will tell you something, trust me. I turn around to tell him something, and the look that he gave me, I cannot describe it any other way other than like just like terrifying. You know how when people get raped or anything, like they say like they couldn't stop him or something. That's exactly how I felt. I was dead set on telling him something, because hell no, you're not gonna touch my boob. Who do you think you are? And I turn around and he like gives me a look with his eyes, and he like smirks. And I wish I could tell you how he did it, but I can't. It was like it was so creepy, and he scared me. I literally felt like a little chihuahua, like I shrunk, and I couldn't say anything. So instead of saying something, I couldn't move either because there was no room anywhere. I just like cover myself and I go like that, and I thought that would stop him. Like I thought that would like give him the hint, like you need to stop, because I did that and I gave him like an ugly look, and instead of stopping, he grabs my hand and he starts like massaging it like with his thumb. I can't even. He was like that with his thumb, and I was like, ugh. I was so disgusted at this point. Like I just wanted to get out. And then he stops doing it to me, and he does it to Kassandra, the one in front of me, and he does the exact same thing to her. And on the other side, like there was a lot of people, but I could see my friend Daisy. She like moved over here, and she told me that she was standing and she was like really close to a guy because there was no room, and that she looks down and that he has a, you know, a boner, and she looks up at him, and that he like looks at her like, hey, and she runs away to us, and I'm like, no, it's not safe over here either, like don't come over here. And that was the only time that that really happened, like in a metro, because we were on metros a lot and that never happened. That was just that was so gross. And we like started laughing about it once we got off, and we walked to the Vatican, and then we saw the Pope, which was like a freaking blessing, and I saw that as him like blessing me because of what I just went through. That's how I saw it. But later on that day, we were like all in bed, and me and Kassandra started crying because we could not believe that that had happened to us. Like, it was ridiculous. In that moment, we were terrified because you never know what could have happened. Like, he could have followed us home, I don't know. But then we started laughing about it, and then we really thought about it, and then we were crying. Like, it was horrible. Also in Rome, we were walking to the Colosseum, and this guy stops and he like gets my back and he like rubs my back and he's like, "Oh, Shakira," and I'm like, no, I don't look like Shakira, but thanks. And we like walk away. What I saw, I guess, was like Italians just really love to show love, because then the next day in Positano, we were waiting for our bus and we were just like sitting down, and this guy comes and he's on a moped with another guy, and I look at him because, I mean, he was gorgeous. Like, I had to look at him. I looked at him and he turns around, blows me a kiss, he's like that, and then he winks and then he like drives away into God knows where. Like, I never saw him ever again. But that wasn't that crazy, but it's just like, oh my god, like, Italian man, they love to show love. They really, really do. Our next weekend, we go to Brussels and Amsterdam, and Brussels was fun. Like, it was really fun. We had like a little tour guide. One of our friends that we went with, she has a friend that lives there, so that friend like took us everywhere. So that was a really fun day. I really liked it. But in Amsterdam, we were more like to ourselves. We had split up because we were like a group of 6 or 7, so we split up and we were each like doing something that we wanted. And my friend Megan, she wanted to go to the red light district, so we went to the red light district. Everything was really weird. It's exactly like what you see in the movies. It was one room, or like a building, it was like a theater, and they had like live sex. So you would just pay like you were going to the movies, sit down, have like popcorn or whatever, and watch people have sex, which I think is so weird because, I mean, if you're into porn, I don't understand why you would want to see live porn, because I guess like if you're gonna watch porn, it's to like get you feeling some type of way, you know? So I don't know why you would want to feel that with other people sitting next to you, but to each their own, I guess. But anyways, the red light district was really weird. There was sex shops everywhere, and like they were selling weed everywhere. It was crazy. And we were leaving the red light district already, and I feel like I'm moving so much. We were leaving the red light district already, and we couldn't figure out the map, like the metro map, because that was the hardest tram or metro, whatever they called it over there. It was the hardest one because Amsterdam is like so close, and there was so many like lines that you could go towards. So we couldn't find out like how to get back to the like strip or the place that we were meeting our other group of friends. And Megan like gets into the tram, because over there in Amsterdam the tram has like a conductor in a little like sealed box. Like, there's a person in a box, and they're there to like help you. She goes in to ask for directions, and we stay behind because we're gonna wait to see if that's the tram number that we're supposed to be on. So when she's asking the question, the tram lady, instead of answering her question, shuts the door and leaves. So we're like, no. And at first we were laughing. Like, it was me and Kassandra at that point. I think Daisy was with us too. We were just like laughing our butts off. Like, I wanted to pee my pants because of how funny it was. And then like it caught on. We were like, oh my god, Megan, like, why are we laughing? Like, we should go look for her. And usually, like we always said, if you ever get lost on a tram, get off on the next stop. Well, Megan didn't do that. She like stayed on because she was like talking to the conductor, like telling her, why did you do that? Like, you saw my friends were out there. I don't even know where she ended up. We walked to the next tram stop. We called her and she wasn't there. And then we had to like use our minutes, because over there we were using like WhatsApp to talk. But you can only use WhatsApp if you have Wi-Fi. And she of course didn't have Wi-Fi because she was like out. So we like were calling her. I'm sure her phone bill was super expensive that day. We were calling her. She got off on like God knows how many stops later. And we were like, okay, describe where you're at, describe where you're at. and it was already dark at this point. We were in the red light district, which is a very sketchy part of town. We're 3 girls, American girls, by ourselves. It was so stressful. So stressful. And then we didn't want to get on the tram because, oh, we did get on the tram to like look for her, but we got on like the wrong tram number, because like, let's say she got on number 3, we got on number 5, and they take you like opposite directions. So we got lost as well, and we had to find our way back to where we originally started. And then we just were like walking, looking for her. We were on the phone. She ended up stopping at an H&M, and we had seen that H&M, but I know it was super far from where we were. So we were like calling. I put it on my GPS, the H&M, and we walked like maybe 30-40 minutes to that H&M at night in a sketchy part of town. It was so creepy. We find her, and she's like crying, and she's so excited to see us, and we were all like, never do that again. Like, from now on, buddy system, man. Like, if you're gonna go into the tram to ask questions, someone's going with you. That was like a wild night. I remember we were exhausted that day, but I guess now we can all laugh about it, so it's okay. Oh, and then in London, I was in the art museum. I don't remember what it was called, but I was looking at the Leonardo da Vinci painting because it was really pretty. And everyone had left me. I don't know where everyone went, but I was by myself. And this man comes up to me, and also like the same as the Rome guy, he like massages my back, and he's like, he whispers it into my ear, like his face is like right here. He's like, "Isn't it beautiful?" And I was like, yeah it is. And then I like ran away, and I like found the people I was with, and I was like, guys, don't leave me alone. Like, people here, like, I don't know, I guess I'm wanted in Europe, because in America I sure am not. But I was getting a lot of men in Europe, a lot of attention, but some of the attention I didn't like. Like, I do not like that touching and that whispering in my ear. No. But that was another thing in London. And I think that was it for like the study abroad part, but I do want to talk about what happened after study abroad when my mom came and we like traveled on our own. We had so much shit happen to us with our airplanes. We go from Frankfurt, Germany to Barcelona. Barcelona's great. And then we're leaving Barcelona to go to Morocco. And when we get there, we're supposed to be flying with Vueling, the airline. And we're going from Barcelona to Marseille, France, I think it was. Which I don't know why they would take us to Marseille, because it's like Barcelona, Marseille, and then Morocco's down there. I don't know. That's where we're going. And they told us, oh, your flight has been canceled. And we're like, no. We stand in a line. I was in line for maybe 2 to 3 hours by myself because my mom didn't want to stand. So I was by myself standing in line. We get to the person, and they tell us, oh yeah, there was like riots happening in France, so we're not allowed to take you there. And we were like, okay, well, is there another way we can get to Morocco like tonight? And they were like, yes, but we're not going to reimburse your ticket, and we're not going to pay for your ticket, so you're gonna have to go to the other airline booths, which were like over there, and you're gonna have to figure it out on your own. And we were like, you're kidding me, right? Our next flight, we go to Lisbon, Portugal, and then from Portugal we spend a few hours there, and then we leave. And they told us, like, they took our bags, and they're like, oh, it'll be in Morocco when you land. My bag wasn't there. They lost my luggage. So I was in Morocco for 2 days with nothing but the same dress, the same underwear, which I had to wash every night because and it was just horrible. But the 3rd day in Morocco, I think it was, our 2nd full day, but our 3rd day in Morocco, we want to go to the Ben Youssef Madrasa, go on a taxi, and they take us to the place. But over there in Morocco, the roads are like really small, so the taxis aren't able to go into the streets. So they like leave us at the end, and they're like, oh, walk on your own. There's no GPS, there's no maps. He's just like, you're gonna walk 20 kilometers that way, and then you're gonna turn and blah blah blah. We're not gonna get there. Like, that was so hard. But before we like set off on that journey, my mom needed an ATM, and we get off the taxi, and this random guy, I remember he had a Simpsons hat on, and he's like, you need ATM? I take you to ATM. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know why we went with him, but we went with him. And he took us to an ATM. He helped us figure it out. He didn't steal anything, it's fine. But then he asked us, like, where are you going? I'll take you. And we go with him because, honestly, like, I'm glad we had him because we would have gotten lost. But on the way, he turns around, he goes to me, he's like, you are a beautiful Fatima. I would pay good money for you. And I was like, thank you. Like, I don't know what a Fatima is. But then I asked my mom, and I'm like, what's a Fatima? She's like, it means a virgin. And he was like, yes, we pay good money for virgins here. And I was like, like, what do I say to that? Like, I don't know, like, I was like in shock. I did not know what to say. And he just like went off, and we just followed him. Everything was fine. He takes us to a carpet place, and I was gonna get a carpet because they're super cute. And the owner of the store goes to my mom, and he like offers her, I don't know how many camels. And he's like, I will give you this many camels for your daughter. And he was like dead serious. And my mom was like, no thanks. And she's like, Kassandra, let's go. And I was like, wait, Mom, because I was looking at the rugs, and she was like, Kassandra, let's go. And when I leave, like, she tells me what happens, and I was like, and he was like an old man too. Like, what is he gonna do with me? Like, why does he want me? Am I gonna be a sex slave? Like, I don't understand why they want me there. But 2 guys wanted to buy me, so I don't know. Last story, we're leaving Morocco going to Germany, but our stop was in Barcelona. We get to Barcelona, and the pilots were on strike. The pilots did not want to fly their planes, so we were sitting waiting for like a plane for like 5 or 6 hours, and they were telling us, oh, the pilot's on their way, the pilot's on the way, and they never were on their way. And then randomly they were like, okay, we got a pilot to fly you, let's go. And they don't even check our passports, they don't check like our bags, nothing. And they drive us on a little shuttle like 15-20 minutes out of the airport, where there was a random plane unmarked, like it didn't have an airline tag or anything. You know how some airplanes say Delta on it or something? This one said nothing. And they're like, this will take you to Germany. And everyone just got on it, so we got on it too. And we were sitting on the plane for another 3 hours because the pilot we thought was gonna fly us decided not to fly us. And eventually we found a pilot to fly us. They took us to Frankfurt, and we're so excited we get to Frankfurt. And I look at the window and I'm like, Mom, this isn't Frankfurt, this is Frankfurt Hahn. And Frankfurt has 2 airports, the main airport, which is in the city, and the airport outside of the city, which is Frankfurt Hahn, which is the budget airline. And I know that airline very well because we used Ryanair for everything, and that's the airport that we had to use. Frankfurt Hahn is like 2, maybe more hours from Frankfurt. So we get off and we're like, why didn't you guys tell us? Like, you told us welcome to Frankfurt, and like you didn't notify us that you weren't taking us to Frankfurt, you're taking us to Frankfurt Hahn. And they're like, sorry, like this is where we had to bring you. But they didn't notify us on the intercom. Like, you know how they say, if anything like that ever happens, they always say like, oh, by the way, we're gonna bring you here, we had to like do an emergency landing or something. They didn't tell us anything. We get there and we have to take a shuttle from Frankfurt Hahn to Frankfurt, but it's like 3 in the morning. And the ladies in the airplane say, oh, don't worry, our airline will pay for your shuttle to Frankfurt. So we get down there, there's no shuttles because it's 3 in the morning, there's no taxi, there's nothing. It was just horrible. And eventually we got on a bus, and it took us like 2 hours to get to Frankfurt, and then we were finally in Frankfurt. But it was just like such a dilemma. Stuff happened while I was abroad, as you can tell. I do have a lot more stories, so if you guys would like a part 2 on this video, just give this video a thumbs up and comment it down below, as well as any other requests that you may have. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Just click that little red button down below. It will notify you when I upload a new video, and it would make me very, very happy. So thank you again for watching. I love you so, so much, and I'll see you in my next video.